have finally kind of got into action, and Apple Pay has been achieved. Now, given the fact that I'm not an iOS
Would you like to know where
user,
your loved one is?
Sorry,
Simple.
sorry,
Just get a phone number to see their
Stop
location
it,
on the map.
stop it.
Real-time location sharing.
could we have that off? Because that's not good for the recording. Right, here we go again. So what I was saying was that I've lost my train of thought. This is awful. Sorry, guys. Right, Apple have been difficult, I understand, from Justin to work with. They've brought Apple Pay in. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm sure there are loads of people in the network, because I've seen it on my different groups. I like, yeah, Apple Pay at last. Well, I did a little bit of quick Google searching. And in fact, 71.6% of the UK population use Android. So, to point of fact, I don't know whether loads of iPhone people come over to UW, but I'm sure in the scheme of things, it's not a deal breaker. But as I've said today in one of the groups, do you know what? If it could be that little thing that could make the difference, then let's not knock it. It's a good thing. And there's a positive. It's a real positive. And you know, if it helps people feel positive, then I think actually that's a really good thing. And I copied something that I sent out to you all, and I never did it because I'm not that clever on this computer lark, but someone's did this. This should eat a huge chunk out of people's utility bills. And I just thought, oh, isn't that nice? It's, you know, it's a play on Apple, isn't it? You know. So what inspires you to get into action? And in this case, I'm on about action being getting into action with UW. Okay. Now, conversely, I also now want you to write down 5 things that uninspire you. 5 things that would almost stop you in your tracks and think, I am not going to do any more utility warehouse. Oh, I know. You're probably thinking, where's she going with this? Well, there's a very good reason, all right? I'm going to give you a clue, okay? They're often self-limiting beliefs, okay? The late, great Henry Ford said, if you believe you can and you can't, you're right. And I have to say, in my groups and teams, I see this in action all the time. I can see an announcement which motivates a whole load of people, and then hey ho, it does nothing for another section. And I actually think it comes down to this: what's going on in here? Really, really. So that's why I want you to write down 5 things that you think, do you know what, that would probably stop me. Okay. Okay, you might want to write the questions down, and I'm going to suggest to you that it might be something that you might like to continue outside of this. Okay. Now, with the old self-limiting beliefs, what you've got to understand is, do you recognize them? Do you actually know when it's you and your thought processes that are doing things? Yeah. So I'll give you a very easy one, right? And this is something I was taught many years ago by Rob Barris. And I've always loved it because it's a great way to help people think. You know, you can ask someone a question and you can get a positive answer. Or you can ask someone a question and get a negative answer, but it's how you answer it, how you ask it, sorry. So, for example, if I said to most people, what do you think of the British weather? Now, by saying, what do you think of the British weather? It usually kind of brings back a negative answer like, oh, it never stops raining. Oh, I had a river running past my house yesterday. Oh my God, it's so cold in the winter. Oh, we're moving into autumn. It's dark nights. Oh, it's only ever getting worse until we get to the 21st of December. Now, if I actually said to someone, what do you like best about the British weather? Now, that question provokes a positive answer. So I hope you kind of know where I'm going with this, because it's always, there are two sides to everything, and you can see the positive or you can see the negative. Now, the second way of asking that, I usually get a response of, oh, well, do you know what? I think I quite like the changing seasons. It's so nice to have that sunshine in the summer. But do you know what? Isn't it pretty in the autumn when all the leaves go yellow and orange and the colours? And actually, sometimes winter mornings when they're cold and crisp and you wrap up tight, they could be so splendid. So, what happens is the same thing, but you can get different thought processes. And this is where our cleverness comes in with what we do. Are we building ourselves and learning things that we can give a positive reaction to people? Okay, so that's a very small instance just to help you think. Also, we're told by the late, great Jim Rowan that we should be very careful who we associate with. That our circle of life, we want to surround ourselves with positive people. Now, that's very true. And it's not saying that if you've got a miserable whole load of family that you just ignore your family, okay? Because I've got some of that. What you do is you kind of like apportion your time with the right people, if you get my drift. Yeah? Because we don't want our brains being, I mean, I could be in some people's company and I can go away and I can feel miserable as sin. And yet I can then go into other people's company and I can feel so positive. So there we are. Think about that as well. All right. So are you surrounding yourself with positive things, positive people? Okay. Do you ever suffer from the imposter syndrome? There's another one. Yeah, I do too. Yeah, occasionally I just think to myself, some would say, surely not, Lisa. I do sometimes think, what is life all about? And I go into this kind of like, what am I doing here? Am I doing any good? Um, do I have a good impact on people? Do I have the right, here we are, to do this 4:30 coaching? Some of you come on, and I know lots of people do watch it afterwards, but I do occasionally think, ooh, have I really got enough skills to be able to say to people, look, I'm going to pass you some skills over? Okay. I actually think that most of us in life, if we genuinely say, I'm willing to keep learning, I think that's a great thing. I think the day you think you know it all is the day that you're actually lost. Okay. And I hope to the day I die, I never ever stop wanting to learn. And one of the things that I love about a holiday is that I get the chance to kind of jump off the earth, as I call it, and get myself absorbed into a really good book. And it's one of the pleasures that I absolutely love about holidays. And they revitalize me then to get back into action when I come back. So what I'm trying to say here is it's all about who we're surrounded by, who we're influenced by, what's going on in this mind. Are we doing things that actually help us grow? Okay. Um, Here's a big one. Do you actually think, do you believe you're in a successful business? UW. Now, here's the thing that I was taught many years ago, and I've used it before. Imagine a stool with three legs. Imagine if those three legs were beliefs in UW. Oh God, if someone comes and knocks, has a dent at you, one of those beliefs goes, actually, the stool topples over, and that could be you. But imagine a stool with, say, 100 legs of belief. When someone comes and hits you, do you know what? Nothing's going to topple you over, is it? In the scheme of things. In fact, it's quite funny. I actually had somebody in a business networking thing that actually said in front of the whole room last week, "Oh, you're in one of those pyramid type setups." And I hadn't actually been approached with that one in a very, very long time. And I thought, somebody's, oh, right. Right. I hadn't been approached with that for a very long time. And I actually had a moment that I was able to answer it. And I said to the room, because obviously it was a room, I said, "Do you know what? That's actually true. Yeah. But I've kind of realized over the years that everything's a pyramid. And in fact, I used to be in two pyramids and they all looked at me. I could see, when you see their body move forward. And I said, well, one of them was the police force. And I said, the funny thing was, it was a very controlling area, the police force. And there were all the kind of, I said, excuse the expression, plebs, all the PCs, loads of them. And then you've got your sergeants, and then you've got your inspectors, and you get less and less of these. Then you get your chief inspectors, and then you get your two ACCs, and you've got your constable, your chief constable. I said, oh my God, I was in a pyramid. And I said, the funny thing is, the one at the top's got all the control and earns the most money. I said, however, what I'm now in is really wonderful. Anyone at any level can grow without affecting anyone else, and they can get to the top and earn the most money. How brilliant is that? And do you know what? Everyone in the room smiled, and a couple of people nodded. And someone else in the room said, yeah, I suppose most businesses are like that. Teachers are like that, aren't they? I said, yeah. I said, Tesco's. I said, so actually, I said, I actually find it, I don't mind people saying that. And actually, do you know what? The guy that said it, I didn't expect him to come out with it, but I've realised, because I've got to know him a bit, that he's one of those people that wants to be the top dog in knowledge with everyone. Now, I don't think I put him down, but I think I gave a really nice explanation. And actually, it brought about a positivity to the room because everyone in there, do you know what? Most of them were entrepreneurs. So they all felt really good about themselves. Isn't that great? Yeah. So there's a thought about that kind of mindset. So let's now carry on here. 5 things I want you to write down. What are you proud of? And what do you like to do more of? Now, put this down to UW. Think of things that you love doing that are utility warehouse based. Now, why am I saying that? I'll tell you why. Because if there's things you like doing, let's all think about this. Don't we find we want to do more of those things? Yeah, that's a fact. Whereas if you're being cornered to say, you really ought to do this, you will probably find every excuse not to do it. Okay, so that may be a little thing to, these headings is like something to maybe work on yourself, because I think you'll find it will help you and the people that you interact with. And then I put down there, what actions will help us? Okay, now I'm going to say there's a big thing there. Nothing happens without activity. That's just a fact. Do you know you can procrastinate, you can ponder, you can mull things over, you can talk about it, you can everything. But if you don't actually get into action, nothing happens at all. So actually, activity is a really, really important thing, because activity, if it's done consistently and you do it consistently, you get more skilled, you get more confident. And I say this over and over again, both prospects for the business in terms of recruiting and people wishing to look at Utility Warehouse as a buyer, as a customer. The more you do stuff, the more. Could you possibly mute yourself, Alan, so that we don't get conversation in the back? The more that you do, you will get more skills, you will get more confident, and people buy your confidence. I absolutely know that. In fact, if you take it on a simplistic level, I've always loved this phrase by Stefan Longworth. He always says, people don't buy your test. That is so true. Imagine if they can hear that you are hesitant, unsure. Well, actually, do you know what? That is not going to bode well. Better to say to somebody, oh, don't know that one. I'll tell you what, I know someone that does, and I'm going to ask for you. And do you know what? I think that's a fantastic thing that we've got in a network. We've always got access to people that will know something. How good is that? And I actually think it shows how clever network marketing is. Yeah. So we want to do actions and activity. And think about this. Think about your activity. Now, okay, I've said to you, do what you love doing and do more of it. Okay, now that's good. However, there is a side step to this. That could be called your comfort zone. And the thing is, there's no growth in the comfort zone. When we grow, when we're challenged, when we step outside the comfort zone, is when great things happen and we grow as a person. So you've got to take that one in mind as well. And that's why Utility Warehouse has created a kind of a structure of growth. So we start off as a distributor, we go to a qualified distributor. There is now lots of bits before there used to be. There is QD style, there is SQD, there is future team leader, there's team leader, senior team leader, group leader, senior group leader, national group leader, national network leader. There's all this, so we can grow into things. Now, sometimes I'm going to share this with you, and I've seen a lot of this. Sometimes because, and in fact, there was a bit of a promotion today. Someone in the team achieved the 50 plus club. I suggest to everyone you get to 50 plus club. Yes, absolutely. Because what you're doing is sealing in that reoccurring passive income. Okay. It's a great thing to get to. I also suggested, and I do suggest, as soon as you can, come off the quip, move on to the passive and build that income so that when you get to 50 or more, whether you work or you don't work in a month, you always get paid that reoccurring royalty, which makes this networking incredible. It is absolutely stunning. Now, this is where you'll hear me get very animated and excited, all right? Because I'm going to share with you, it took me a long time to really understand this. I was told it's worth 3 times more than anything in a job. They're absolutely right. Because if you're self-employed, if you don't work, you don't get paid. True? Mm-hmm. If you're in a job, I'm not quite sure how long they'll put up with you not working before they basically say, you've got the sack. I'm not sure what it is, but it's not very long, is it, that you could not work and not get paid? So actually, this is why I find it so amusing when people look upon this as risky. I think there's no risk in it, no financial risk, unless you count £10 now. And that's nuts, isn't it? In fact, the problem with £10 is I think it belittles what an incredible opportunity we've got. Okay. So today I was saying, get off the quip, get onto the residual, because it's a really good thing. Now, the other thing I said was, but don't stop. Keep going. You know, we say row with both oars. Recruit, gather customers, recruit, gather customers. And the reason being is, well, firstly, would you really want to keep it to yourself? I mean, I constantly say to anyone, does anyone ever believe that I am really upset with Mr. Robert Barras for showing me this opportunity? No, no, not at all. I am really glad he did. I could have said no. Well, actually, you could say, I possibly frustrated him for 2 years because I got one customer a month. Now, on the positive thing, the last bit I said is, can we inspire others? Now, I believe that our income structure, that, and oh my God, all these incentives that are there, blimmin' nuts. We should be able to inspire others, shouldn't we? Is it not pretty inspirational? Because I constantly have got a husband now who comes home from work and says, do you know what? I get naff all. I work hard, my fingers to the bone. I've got arthritis in all the fingers. My back's going. And if I'm lucky, the boss might put a tenner in the pay packet near Christmas. And he said, all I see is, he said, I see this company offering quick upfront money. They offer residual income. They offer supporting bonuses. They offer mentoring bonuses. They offer achievement bonuses, timeline bonuses. Then there's things like holidays, incentives like we've got the Christmas hamper and £250 love to shop vouchers, turkey dinner and all the trimmings. Oh, and if you're really so inclined, there's a big chocolate wreath and about 4 hotel chocolate calendars. Oh my God, there is just so much, and it goes on. Oh, and I've not even mentioned the cars. So there's Minis and there's Teslas and there's bikes. I mean, honestly, do you think there's quite a few things that could inspire us? And if they don't, you've got to say why. Why don't they inspire us? Think hard. What is it that's not inspiring us if those things don't do it for you? Now, I'd love you to unmute, and I'd love some questions because I've given you lots of food for thought today, and maybe someone would like to make a statement or ask a question. So do unmute. And I can see Roz is unmuted. Roz, have you got anything?
No, I'm taking on board lots of things you said, especially about positivity. I do think that's important. There are times when we get low because it hasn't gone the way we want it to. But I now got the art of saying next, move on.
Do you know something I've not mentioned? In the morning, do we start the morning off well? Do we do positive affirmations? Do you remember that? We used to do that in the classroom. We used to talk about positive affirmations, and I haven't heard that mentioned in a long time. Now, I've learned something about me as time's gone on. If I get up early and I get off my, like, come on, Lisa, get the kit on, go out and do a nice fast walk, and then I've learned that I can actually now do this instead of all the reading, which I love. I put my earphones in, I put my my phone in my pocket, and I actually kind of like listen to something positive while I'm walking. So I'm actually doing two positive things, and I find that really sets me up for the day. The exercise releases good endorphins, which does a good thing, and then I'm also feeding my mind. Now, think about yourselves and think about, am I setting myself up right for the day?
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So there's so much to this. Can I just also say to you, and I know, Ros, bless you, can't come, but actually, like we're doing recruitment next month, but I am gonna do this down in Bournemouth, this whole mindset thing into big detail. all right, and really help people, because I think so much of life is all about what goes on in here. And I always think about, if you believe you can and you can't, you're right. Because I've brought in a lot of people and I see people just instantly go, no, I can't do this. And then other people that I didn't expect go, well, I can, and I'm willing to learn. Yeah. So it's all about what's on in here. Anybody got any other thought processes or thoughts on it all? Could I give you one more? Just one more. Get yourself a jar, an old jar, clean it out, okay? And then get some little bits of paper. And I heard this many years ago, and I have done it, and it's wonderful. A gratitude jar. And every day, put something on a bit of paper that you are grateful for. And they reckon that over the year, you could have 365 things that you didn't realize that you're grateful for. And that in itself has got to be a good thing to help our mindset.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lindsay, you had your hand up.
Yeah, two quick things. One, this gratitude thing. I sent my last customer a thank you card, a UW thank, and she was very grateful for it, because I think in these days of text and stuff, to have something handwritten come through the mail is quite significant. So that encourages me to keep doing that the next time. The other thing about the positive attitude was, as an event, not a UW event, a network event on Sunday, and I made a list of all the people I know who were there. There's 16 of them, people I know, and I'm put them in the group, and I'm going to contact them all. I mean, there's people I've spoken to before, but just make a list of all the people I knew at that event, and I'm going to contact them all. 16 of them. Just put them in a small broadcast group on my phone. So just trying to be positive.
I love what you've just said. I must admit, I did up to 300 customers. I did used to send a thank you card, but the trouble was, when I got over that and I started building a team, I was I had it said to me, really, it's time that I'm more about supporting and building a team than concentrating on customers. But listen, I still won't knock it, because I think it's a fabulous idea. It's got more expensive. I believe it's about £1.35 for a first class stamp now.
First
Oh, wow.
class is going up to 165.
160.
Morning.
Whiz, it's incredible, isn't it? It's absolutely incredible.
Which
Everything
actually makes it even more valuable.
Yeah, it does. It makes it even more valuable, because you've gone through a lot of effort and money now as well. Just another thing you've mentioned, Lindsay, which I want to bring in, and that is, the more events we actually turn up to, that has positivity on us as well. I see the broader picture across all my teams. People that don't attend the events, generally speaking, kind of go on a downward spiral. The people, especially, that don't turn up at buzzes, do you know what? I have not yet ever, when I think about the buzz, because usually at the end, I will go round and say to people, have you picked up one thing that's helped you? And usually you get, oh yeah, I'm really glad I came. I didn't know this, I didn't know that. And actually, do you know what? It's making that effort to actually do that. It really is. And then likewise is training. Now we're only emphasizing the in-class training, but please don't dismiss. There is lots of good stuff. Who, hand up, who watched the big night in?
Okay.
I will later tonight.
Right, now, listen, I didn't watch it on Sunday, but I did last night, because my husband had on football. And so I thought, do you know what? I'm going to actually watch the big night in. And it was really good. And then this morning, very early, on my walk, I actually listened to it again. And second time, you always pick up something, don't you? You miss the first time. And I thought there's some really good stuff there. It doesn't mean that one has to feel deflated if one's not achieving, like all about this QD star. But what I will say is this: if we don't try, if we don't practice, we'll never get any better. Okay. And that is what it's all about. It's about, there is there is a fantastic thing that Wes Linden has said, and he always refers to this. It's a great analogy. The 4-minute mile, Roger Bannister. For donkey's years, decades, it was thought it was an impossibility for the human structure to achieve. Some people actually thought that they were going to actually pass out and die and everything. And then he achieved it. And then all of a sudden, so fast, loads of people did it. And I actually think we've got something like that happening at the moment. Because, you know, I put my hand up, I brought somebody in, and they've kind of said to me, oh, well, I can't do this fast start plan until a few days' time. Now, I always ask them now, like, I don't want you to join unless you can get it done super fast. And listen, I want to get a whole load of appointments in there immediately. All right, because that's what we do. Yeah. Now, if people don't achieve it, it is not to make them feel terrible. All right, because just to share this with you, I said to James Tomlinson when it started coming through the QD star thing, I said to him, James, but we mustn't dismiss the people that don't get off to a fast start. And he said, yeah, but he said, if we always do what we've always done, we'll always get what we've always got. Now, he didn't say that. That's my language. But he said something similar. Okay. And I said, yes, but James, I did 1 customer a month for 2 years. Would you turn away my business with 25,000 group customers? And he laughed and he went, no, I wouldn't. I said, so should we dismiss the vast majority of the network that hasn't got going super fast? And I think the answer is we don't dismiss them, we help them. And that's why I continue to do stuff like this. So guys, I hope that was a bit of help. I will be back for next week because although I'm off to Porto, to Portugal, we are back very, very early hours of Monday morning, Sunday night. So Tuesday will be as normal. Hope it's been helpful. Different thing today. All right. And see you all, guys. And I hope you're enjoying, if you're on your iPhone, I hope you're enjoying your Apple Pay. Using it for, because I haven't got a clue.